we're not here on a funeral service, we're here to look at the good times that that man brought. He was born on the 5th of October 1922 in Burbank in Lanarkshire. He was a miner. In fact, when he started playing football, he still continued to be a miner. During the Second World War, because of his trade, Jock continued to work down the mines. And that is his first link between our two great nations, between Scotland and Wales. The mining population. Good, hard-working, honest people who will always have a welcome for you, always have a smile, and always have a drink on your table. Mr. Stein played for Albion Rovers. And whilst he was playing for Albion Rovers, he continued to work in the mines 5 days a week. He then got his first professional contract down for a Llanelli football club down here on Wales. He left his wife and his daughter behind and travelled all the way down. He was on the princely sum of £12 per week for playing football, his first professional contract. Jock, being a good hard-working man and a family man, started to miss his wife and his daughter, and very soon he became homesick and wanted to return to Scotland. At that time, the Celtic assistant manager very shrewdly spotted that Jock was a big hulking centre-half and decided that Celtic should put in a bid to bring Jock back up to Scottish football. Jock was originally signed for Celtic to be a centre-half for the reserve team. However, due to injuries, he was quickly promoted to the first team status at Celtic. Now Celtic at that time, and at this present minute in time, it's unbelievable to think, but Celtic hadn't won a trophy for 8 years before Jock signed for them. They hadn't won the league for 34 years. Nowadays that would be unheard of. Jock promptly signed for Celtic. His big mate was Sean Fallon, who coincidentally ended up being assistant manager for Jock when he took over Celtic. At that time, the captain, Sean Fallon, was allowed to say who could be the vice captain, and he nominated Jock. Jock quickly rose through the ranks, and it was an unfortunate accident, but Sean broke his arm and Jock became captain at Glasgow Celtic, and he remained captain until the end of his playing days. He finished playing at the age of 34. Whilst he was playing, he watched Scotland in the World Cup, and notably he watched what the shambles was of the background and the preparation, and he started to learn about Scotland. He started to learn about preparation. He started to learn about nutrition. Now, for any of the younger supporters about, all you can think about is Jock with his brill-creamed hair and his long overcoat, and you think that he was an old-fashioned Scottish disciplinarian type manager. Nothing could be further from the truth. Jock Stein was a revolution. He thought of things before anybody else, and in fact it was the manager and the director of AC Milan Football Club who turned around and said that their great team that included Van Basten, Gullit and other people amongst them, that they based themselves on that free-flowing Celtic team of 1967 that won the European Cup. In fact, that could probably go down as one of Jock's greatest ever honours, of winning the European Cup, not being the first Northern team to do so, but being a team of 11 guys within 20 miles of their own stadium. He took ordinary people and turned them into better, not only players, but better people. Glasgow Celtic Football Club, at the time that Jock managed it, there was never any scandals. There was never anything in the papers about the players and how they behaved. He was an exemplary man. Once Jock finished playing football, he then decided to go into management. He first of all went into the Celtic youth team, and again, in that, probably his greatest achievement was leading the second 11 to the Scottish Cup final and beating Rangers over a two-leg of 8-2. Now, it might sound biased that I keep saying about Celtic, but believe me, I've got no affinity to Celtic or Rangers, being a good Leeds United man. Being a good Leeds United man, it's good to see here at Cardiff City Football Club that we're embracing football culture across the world. Jock then moved on to Dunfermline and became manager at Dunfermline. And in fact, within 6 weeks of becoming manager at Dunfermline, he took them to the Scottish Cup final where they subsequently, after a replay, beat Glasgow Celtic on a Wednesday night at Hampden 2-0. Now, to take a team after 6 weeks, people might think that was a team that he inherited. But it wasn't the case with Jock. In 1965, Jock took over as the interim manager of Scotland. During that time, Scotland had a terrible qualifying campaign for the World Cup. The World Cup was held in 1966 and it was in the dark side of the border. So that put more emphasis on Jock to try and get Scotland there. And in fact, we played Italy. Jock subsequently moved 7 of the players that had been playing in every game, substituted them, didn't allow them to start, and started his own men. The centre forward that day was a young lad from Hibernian, and he recalls the fact that whenever the goalkeeper from Italy had the ball, that Jock knew what the tactics were going to be. He knew that Italy wanted to play from the back. He said that every time the goalkeeper got the ball, that he was marking the centre half. Scotland subsequently won that night 1-0, and that's our only time that we beat Italy in 10 chances. That also shows you the astute manner of Jock Stein. Jock was also a very, very good man. He was a very, very quick-witted bloke. He'd grown up with sectarianism all his life, and in fact, when he came from Llanelli and he ended up signing for Celtic, his father, his family, and all his mates back in Burbank disowned him because he thought he was a turncoat. Eric Cantona jumped into the crowd at Crystal Palace quite a few years ago. Brian Clough remonstrated with a couple of players or a couple of supporters that run onto the pitch. What is not publicised enough is that Jock Stein at Stirling Albion jumped in amongst his own supporters to start remonstrating about the sectarian singing that was going on. Sectarianism, as it says, Jock had a quick wit about it. Jock says that sectarianism, everybody puts that down to religion. And actually, Jock put that down to the lack of religion. And that's how forward-thinking the guy was. Jock left Glasgow Celtic as manager. He got offered a position upstairs. They wouldn't allow him onto the board of the Celtic Football Club because he was a Protestant. Jock was then offered the chance to become the general manager of Glasgow Celtic Pools. He took the club through their biggest and proudest history that they've ever had, winning the championship 9 times in a row, a feat that has only been equalled by Glasgow Rangers in the last few years. And for that, the guys decided that he would run the pools. For the younger ones, that would be like putting them in charge of the lottery or the spot the ball competition nowadays. An absolute disgrace. Jock then decided that he didn't want to do that and he retired from Glasgow Celtic Football Club. That's when my beloved Leeds United decided that they would take Jock on as manager. Jock went to Leeds, but his heart was always in Scotland. His heart was in Scotland so much that for the 44 days he was in charge of Leeds United, his wife and daughter remained in Scotland. Some Leeds United supporters believe that he engineered the move back to Scotland by keeping his wife and daughter there. But the Scottish Football Association, much to their great management at that time, decided that we could not allow a manager of his talent to sit and waste away on the dark side of the border in some 2-bob league. So we brought him back as a manager of the Scotland Football Club. As manager of the Scotland Football Club, Jock took us to 2 World Cup finals. And indeed, on that fateful night, we were on the verge of qualifying for yet another playoff to take us, eventually beating Australia and taking us into the World Cup finals. His assistant manager that night was a young lad. Now, as I say, I'm a Leeds United supporter, and there's a certain team in red and white, just like Harry Potter, we don't mention their name. But subsequently, his assistant manager is now the manager of Scumchester United. And having read about Jock Stein's life, I could see a lot of traits in Sir Alex Ferguson. And I do hope and pray that one day Alex will come back and take over the fold that Jock left and left the mantle and take us on to better and greater things. On that fateful night, I've got an episode here from the Sons of Scotland Paisley Tartan Army. On 10th September 1985 at Ninian Park in Wales, Rangers winger, the great Davy Cooper, may he rest in peace, stepped up to take the most important penalty kick of his life in the 81st minute of the World Cup qualifying encounter between Scotland and Wales. The Tartan Army's place at the Mexico '86 finals depended almost entirely on Cooper striking the ball cleanly. Scotland were trailing thanks to a 13-minute goal by Mark Hughes, who subsequently later on went on to manage the Wales team. And only a draw against Wales would guarantee our qualification. As the 80th minute approached, Steve Nicol had sent in a telling cross which was nodded on by Graham Sharp into the path of David Speedy. The Speedy unleashed his shot. The Welsh defender David Phillips was adjudged to have handled it, and the referee, one Jonas Keinzer from Holland, didn't hesitate in pointing to the spot, and the entire Scottish nation waited on with nervous anticipation as Davy Cooper stepped up to convert the penalty with cool confidence. As Jock Stein watched from the dugout as the drama unfolded, looking pale and a bit concerned, as I think one would do. I think the backside would be making buttons at that time, being the manager. He looked on and he was uncomfortable at the position that was opening up and unfolding on the pitch. But in the moments that followed the celebration, as the crowd of Scotland fans in Ninian Park that night erupted into a celebration, an intrusive journalist started to try and take photographs of Alex Ferguson and Jock Stein. Jock tried to wave the journalist out the way, and that was when he took a fatal heart attack, and minutes later on the physio table in the away end, Jock Stein's life and a great light in Scottish football, which has never ever been surpassed since then, was extinguished. Ladies and gentlemen, Jock Stein is forever at rest, but never forgotten. Thank you.